See, most of the students think success comes from doing something extraordinary, like getting 95% marks, or studying for 10 hours every day, or getting into a top college, or being naturally smart. But here's something most of the students don't understand. The difference between average students and high-performing students is usually not intelligence, and it's not talent. It's their daily habits, the small things they do every single day that slowly create a big results. Because success is not built in one night before an exam. It is built through hundreds of normal days. So the problem is, most of the students ignore small habits because they don't feel powerful. Like reading one page doesn't seem like a big achievement, and reviewing one concept doesn't feel like enough, and writing down one goal feels too simple. But that's exactly why these habits work. Because when you repeat small actions every single day, they start creating bigger changes in your life. So one extra step today may not feel important, but after months, you become more focused, more disciplined, and much better than where you started. So today, I'm going to share 10 tiny micro habits that can help you improve your focus, reduce procrastination, and learn faster. And also, it makes your student life more easier. And the best part is that most of these habits take only a few minutes. So you don't need hours, you just need a consistency. So watch the video until the end, because the final habit is the one that helps you make all the other habits stick. So without further delay, let's get into the video. Habit number 1, study before screen. Let's be honest, what is the first thing most of the students do after waking up? They grab their phone and check Instagram and reply to messages and watch YouTube shorts and tell themselves just for a few minutes. But those few minutes quickly turn into more. And before they even start their day, their brain is already filled with random information. So when they finally sit down to study, then focusing feels harder. So here's a simple habit that can help. Before opening any social media app, open your notes for just 30 seconds. That's it. You don't need to study for an hour, and you don't need to memorize anything. Just look at yesterday's notes or check what you need to learn today. Why? Because the first thing you give your attention to in the morning shapes your mind, and most of the students start their day by consuming. But high-performing students start their day with intention. Learning is part of my day. And when you repeat this tiny habit every single day, then slowly you become someone who starts the day with focus, not distraction. Habit number 2, question yourself. So after every class, ask yourself one simple question. What is the one thing I learned today? Not 5 things, not 10 things, just one. Because most of the students finish a class, then close their books and move on to the next thing. But they never stop to think about what they actually learned. And because of that, information slowly disappears. But when you take a moment to remember one concept, then your brain starts processing it. This is called active recall. It means you don't just read the information, you practice and bringing it back from your memory. And that is exactly what exams test. Not how many pages you read, but how much you can remember. That's why the best students don't only spend hours rereading, they spend time testing their own brain. This tiny habit may seem small, but doing it every single day can completely change how well you learn. Habit number 3, 5-minute reset. Have you ever sat down to study and felt distracted before you even started? You open your books, but your desk is full of random things, like papers everywhere, and pens are scattered on the desk, and chargers, snacks, and random things are taking up your space. And without realizing it, your mind also starts feeling the same way, messy and overwhelmed, because your environment affects your focus more than you think. A messy space creates more distractions. So before you finish studying every single day, take just 5 minutes to reset your workspace, put your books back and throw away unnecessary things, and arrange your notes and clear your desk. This small habit is not just about cleaning. It is about making tomorrow easier. Because when you sit down the next day, you can start studying immediately. No searching and no wasting time. Just focus only. So, small effort today can create a much better tomorrow. Habit number 4, put phone away. See, most of the students underestimate how much their phone affects their focus. They say, I'm not going to use my phone. But here's the problem. Your phone doesn't need to be in your hand to distract you. Just seeing it on your desk, it reminds your brain that something else is waiting. Maybe a new message, a notification, or a new video. And a small part of your attention stays connected to it. That's why studying feels harder, because your brain is not fully focused on the work in front of you. So try this simple habit. Whenever you study, don't keep your phone next to you. Don't keep it beside your notebook. Put it somewhere far away across the room. Because when distractions are harder to reach, then your brain stops thinking about them. And suddenly, focusing becomes much easier. Habit number 5, preview lesson. See, most of the students see a topic for the first time when the teacher starts explaining it. But high-performing students often see it before the class begins, not because they are smarter, but because they prepare their brain. Before going to sleep, spend just 3 minutes looking at tomorrow's lesson. Read the chapter name, or look at the headings, or check the diagrams, or quickly understand what you are going to learn. So you don't need to memorize anything, and you don't need to fully understand the topic, because the goal is simple: make it familiar. Because when your teacher explains it, then your brain won't feel like it is seeing something completely new. And when something feels familiar, then it becomes easier to understand. So small 3-minute habit at night can save you a lot of confusion the next day. Habit number 6, start asking. Here's a mistake many students make. They open a book and immediately start reading from the first page. They keep reading lines after lines, but after some time they realize, I read everything, but I don't remember anything. Why? Because they are only looking at the information. They are not actively thinking about it. So instead, before you start studying, ask yourself one simple question. What am I trying to understand from this chapter? Now your brain has a purpose. It starts searching for answers. And when your brain is looking for something, then your attention naturally increases. Think about watching a mystery movie. You don't keep watching because someone told you to. You keep watching because you want to know what happens next. And learning also works the same way. Questions create curiosity, and curiosity creates focus, and focus makes studying easier. Habit number 7, hydration rule. This habit sounds too simple, but don't ignore it, because many students sit down to study, but after some time they feel tired, their mind feels slow, and they can't concentrate, and they start thinking, maybe I'm lazy, or maybe I don't have enough motivation. But sometimes the problem is much simpler. Your body just needs more energy, and one small thing that affects your focus is water. Because your brain needs enough water to work properly, and when you don't drink enough, then your concentration and memory can suffer. So, create one simple rule. Before you start studying, keep a full water bottle on your desk, and that's it. It takes only a few seconds, but it helps your brain stay active and makes every study session easier. Habit number 8, plan tomorrow. Have you noticed how much time students waste before they even start studying? They sit down and open their laptop, check a few messages, and look through their notes. Then they start thinking, where should I begin? And 20 minutes are gone without doing any real work. So the problem is not always laziness, because sometimes your brain just wastes energy trying to decide. So here's a simple habit. Before going to sleep, just write down the first task you will do tomorrow. Make it clear and specific, not I'll study chemistry. Instead of write, complete chapter 4 notes. Because when you sit down the next day, you don't waste time thinking, because you already know the first step. And when starting becomes easier, then staying consistent becomes easier too. Habit number 9, teach concept. And this is one of the fastest ways to know if you actually understand something. So just pick one concept you learned today, then try explaining it out loud. Imagine you are teaching a younger student, or pretend you are making a simple video about it. Use your own words and keep it simple. Now here's what happens. If you can explain it clearly, then you understand it. But if you get stuck, that's not a bad thing. It shows you exactly where your understanding is weak, and now you know what to review. But many students make this mistake. They read a page, and they recognize the words, and they think, I understand this. But reading and understanding are different. Real understanding means you can explain the idea without looking at your notes, because if you can teach something simply, then you probably know it deeply. Habit number 10, never skip twice. This is the most important habit in the entire video, because this is where most of the students lose. You make a plan, and you decide, today I'm going to study. But then something happens. You feel tired, you get busy, and your day doesn't go as planned. That's normal, because one missed day does not destroy your progress. The real problem starts when you miss the next day too, because one missed day can become 2. 2 can become a week, and slowly you build a habit of quitting. So create one simple rule: never skip twice. Miss today's study session? It's okay. Come back tomorrow. And miss your reading habit? Fine. Start again the next day. So don't focus on being perfect. Focus on staying consistent, because perfection is impossible, but consistency is something you can build. And small actions repeated over the time will always beat perfect plans you never follow. Here's what most of the students get wrong. They think success comes from doing something huge, like studying for 10 hours and being motivated every single day. But that's not how real progress works, because most of the time, you don't need a bigger effort. You need better systems, because your future is not created by what you do once. It is created by what you do again and again. A student who studies 10 hours one day but does nothing for the next week, he will struggle. But a student who studies a little every single day, that slowly builds knowledge and discipline. That's the power of micro-habits. So don't take all 10 habits and overwhelm yourself. Pick just 2, practice them for 1 week, then slowly add more. Because real change is not about doing everything at once. It's about becoming better step by step. Remember this, 1 year from now, you won't become a different person because of one big decision, but you will become different because of the small choices you made every day. If this video helped you, subscribe for more useful student content and tell me in the comments, which habit are you starting today? I'd love to know. Until the next time, keep learning and keep growing.